Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to go ahead and discuss about Indian Economic Service. Question number 12A, A, B, C, all parts actually. This is from GE1 2025 paper. Okay, let's look into the question. It says the following table shows coefficient matrix of an economy consisting of three industries, each producing for their internal use as well as external use. So it's a Leontief input-output model. Internal use as well as external use. Okay. So you are given industry 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 0.2, 0.25, 0.10, 0.15, 0.10, 0.05, 0.10, 0.05, 0.15. This is a box which you're given. So as you can think about it, this is what industry 1 is using in itself. This is what industry 1 is using from industry 2, industry 1 from industry 3, industry 2 from industry 1, industry 2 from industry 2, industry 2 from industry 3, and so on and so forth. तो ये question first part है इसका, that interpret each row and each column of the matrix. Interpret each row and each column of the matrix. So बहुत simple है, I've already told you. Each row is showing how output of one industry gets distributed as in among other industries as intermediate input. माने 0.20. So ऐसा कुछ है कि industry 1 supplies 0.20 unit to industry 1, 0.25 to industry 2, and 0.10 to industry 3. अब एक बात समझने वाली होगी that whatever is the input of industry 1, whatever is the input of industry 1, wo it is getting distributed, not input, sorry, whatever is the output of industry 1, it is getting distributed among other industries. बाकी industries में वो उसको distribute कर रहा है. Is it making sense? So this is a typical coefficient matrix, है ना? So जब हम कोई भी element aij की बात करते हैं, any element aij, जब भी हम element aij की बात करते हैं, it represents value from industry I required as intermediate input from intermediate input for industry J. For industry J, ये बात समझ में आ रहा है? ठीक है, तो बेसिकली हम ये बोल रहे हैं कि अगर मैं बोल रही हूं आई, सपोज इफ आई पुट आई एज 1 एंड यहाँ पे मैं जे लिख रही हूँ, सो A11 मीन्स इंडस्ट्री 1 का इनपुट इन इंडस्ट्री 1। A12 मीन्स इंडस्ट्री 1 कितना इनपुट सप्लाई कर रही है टू इंडस्ट्री 2। A13 मीन्स कितना इनपुट इंडस्ट्री 1 सप्लाई कर रही है टू इंडस्ट्री 3। सो इंडस्ट्री 1, दिस आई इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग किसका आउटपुट है, हुज आउटपुट इट इज, right? So this is the interpretation of AIJ. So industry 1 is supplying 0.2 units, 0.2 units to industry 1 to support 1 unit of production of industry 1। मतलब अगर industry 1 को 1 यूनिट प्रोड्यूस करना है तो उसके लिए वो industry 1 का 0.2 यूनिट यूज करेगी, right? So we can say here itself that to support 1 unit of production in the respective industries। ठीक है। सिमिलरली इंडस्ट्री 1 इज एलोकेटिंग 0.25 यूनिट्स ऑफ इट्स आउटपुट टू इंडस्ट्री 2 ताकि वो अपना 1 यूनिट बना पाए, एंड इट इज गिविंग 0.1 यूनिट, मतलब उसका 0.1 यूनिट इंडस्ट्री 1 का इंडस्ट्री 3 में यूज हो रहा है, right? So rho shows how output of one industry is distributed as intermediate input across industries। इसको आपको कहीं लिखना पड़ेगा, you have to write this down। So you will say that each row shows how the output of a specific industry is distributed as input across all industries, including itself। That industry can also use its own input per unit of their respective output। Then you will just give an example and one example is enough। ठीक है। Now we will talk about column। तो जब हम कॉलम की बात करते हैं तो रिवर्स हो जाता है, कॉलम इज दिस, राइट? So column is showing the input requirement of a specific industry from other industries। ठीक है। तो कॉलम बोल रहा है कि अगर इंडस्ट्री 1 को 1 यूनिट का आउटपुट बनाना है तो उसे बाकी इंडस्ट्री से कितना चाहिए होगा। रो इज टेलिंग कि इंडस्ट्री 1 अपना आउटपुट कैसे बाकी इंडस्ट्रीज को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रही है। So what is going to be the interpretation of the column? The interpretation of column will be, so each column represents या shows the input requirement of a specific industry from all other industries to produce 1 unit of its own input। प्रोड्यूस 1 यूनिट ऑफ इट्स ओन इनपुट। तो इसका भी हम एक एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे दे देंगे। वील गिव वन एग्जाम्पल। सो एग्जाम्पल, टू प्रोड्यूस 1 unit of output, industry 1 requires 0.2 unit of own output, then 0.15 unit of industry 2's output, and 10 unit of 3 output. 0.15 unit of industry 2's output and 0.10 unit from industry 3. 0.10 unit from industry 3. So this is the way in which you can answer this question. अब ये क्वेश्चन, so just understand कि this is for 5 marks. Just one interpretation is for 5 marks. तो माने हमें एक proper interpretation देनी है. ऐसे ही नहीं कि बस एक एक लाइन लिख दी, नहीं. We have to tell what rows imply, what columns imply, क्या implication है एक एक चीज का. Detailed discussion has to be there on the interpretation. Now the second part, again for 5 marks, बोलता है calculate Leontief inverse matrix. Calculate Leontief inverse matrix. So now we all know the formula, how to calculate the Leontief inverse matrix. So we know that the Leontief inverse matrix is given by I minus A inverse. Okay, so I is identity matrix. A is the matrix given to you. So I remember this was 0.201510. उसके बाद 251505. Then, sorry, 251005, 10,515. Okay. So now just calculate this. Okay. So if I find I minus A, this is step 1. I am finding I minus A. So this is going to be 0.80 minus 0.15 minus 0.10 minus 0.15, 0.90 minus 0.05 minus 0.10 minus 0.05, 0.85. This will be your I minus A. Okay. Now we can just go ahead and find the inverse. So just go ahead and find the inverse. To find the inverse, we need to find the determinant. इसको कुछ new matrix नाम दे देते हैं. Suppose matrix B. So we'll find the determinant of this matrix B. So 0.80, 0.90 into 0.85 minus 0.05 into 0.05 minus, so plus 0.25 minus 0.15 into 0.85. You can put a minus here for now. I negated क्योंकि दोनों minus plus हो जाते, but just keep it. So minus 0.10 into 0.05, then plus minus 0.10 minus 0.15 into minus 0.05 minus 0.10 into 0.90. Take a minute, quickly try and calculate this. Just tell me the answer to this one. Even I'll open the calculator and do it. So you will usually go ahead and notice that these kind of questions will usually have long decimal values, especially in IES and DEPR ka phase 2 paper. दे काइंड ऑफ गिव यू क्वेश्चंस जो इतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं होंगे, बट दे माइट बी अ बिट कैलकुलेटिव इन नेचर। ठीक है, तो वो चीज एक है जो हमें थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखनी होगी। ठीक, सो let's go ahead and let's just find this problem. So the answer is coming out as 0.610 minus 0.033125 minus 0.00975, and this is coming out as 0.567125. Right? I hope that you are also getting this as the answer. Please verify. As I said, यहाँ पे थोड़ा decimals involved होते हैं. So we have to be very careful when we go ahead and when we solve this. अब ये हमारा determinant of the matrix निकल गया. So now we have to calculate the cofactors of the matrix. Right? And let us go ahead and calculate those cofactors quickly. So cofactors of the matrix. Please keep your calculator in front of you. So I'm going to calculate C11, C12, C13, C21, C22, C23, C31, C32, C33. ठीक है, रिमेंबर कोफैक्टर में दिस विल हैव अ प्लस साइन, क्योंकि माइनर के साथ साइन भी लगता है. सो प्लस माइनस प्लस माइनस प्लस माइनस प्लस माइनस एंड प्लस, ये साइंस भी आते हैं. राइट, ओके. Now C11. So C11 के लिए you will eliminate the first row and first column. So when you do that, you will get 0.90 into 0.85 minus 0.05 into 0.05. This one you will get, na? इतना आ जाएगा when you will eliminate the first row and first column. So it will be 0.90 into 0.85 minus 0.05 whole square. Keep calculating them in the calculator. I will just take it from you. Then C12 means first row and second column will be gone. So 0.15 into 0.85 minus 0.10 into 0.05. So 0.15 with a negative sign into 0.85 minus 0.10 into 0.90. Then for the third one, C13, first row and third column will be gone. So first row and third column gone. So 0.15 into 0.05 and minus 0.10 into 0.90. Right? Now C21. So second row and first column gone. So 0.25 into 0.85 minus 0.05 into 0.10. Right? Then second row and second column gone. So 0.80 into 0.85 minus 0.10 into 0.10. So whole square. Right? Then C23, just find it in a similar way. So second row and third column will be gone. So 0.80 into 0.05 minus 0.10 into 0.25. So 0.80. Okay, good. I'll just take the values from the chat in a minute, huh? Let me just write these down. So 0.80 into 0.05 minus 0.10 into 0.25. Then C31. So C31 will be third row, first column gone. So 0.25 into 0.05 minus 0.90 into 0.01. So be very careful. These questions are not difficult, only lengthy. That's the only thing, right? So थोड़ा सा sign जो देखना है वो बहुत जरूरी है, that we notice the sign. Otherwise, they are not lengthy questions. Then third row and second column gone. So 0.80 into minus 0.05 minus 0.15 into 0.10. Right? And at last, you have the third row and third column. So third row and third column will be 0.80 into 0.90 minus 0.15 into 0.25. Okay, now let's quickly go ahead and fill in these numbers. Okay, chaliye. So what numbers are we getting? I'll take it from the chat. 0.7625. ठीक है. Then what's the second number we have got? 0.1325. Okay. I think it will not be 0.1325. Let's just check this. So it will be minus 0.15 into minus 0.05. This is 0.0075. And it is a plus because there is a minus here and minus here. So it will be plus 0.09. So this will be 0.0975. So that's the second value. Sorry, I was thinking about the third one. Third will be, I think there is some mistake there because there is a plus here. So this is second is correct. You have written it correctly, 0.1325. But I think third may, it cannot be that number, 0.115. So this is coming out as 0.0975. Because I'm adding it here, this is plus plus, and this is also a plus. Then if I go ahead and if I do C21, what's the number we are getting here? Calculate it just. What is C21 coming? I think for me it is coming as 0.2175. Just recheck it, 0.2175 is what I'm getting for C21. I'll just verify it. So 0.85 into 0.25 is, this is giving me minus 0.2125. And this is giving me minus 0.005. So yes, this is 0050. So this becomes 0.2175 with a negative sign. Correct. This is right. Then if we do C22, then C22 is giving me 0.67. So 0.80 into 0.85. This 0.80 into 0.85, this is coming out as 0.68 minus 0.01. So I'm getting the answer because this is just negative. Whole square mein to it becomes positive, na? So when I subtract, 0.67 will come. Then C23, I am getting this as 0.065. ठीक है. C23 I'm getting as 0.065. How? Because this is giving me 0.04 with a negative sign, and this is giving me 0.025, and there is a negative sign outside. So this is giving me 0.065. And then for C31, I am getting the answer as 0.1025. For C32, I am getting the answer as, so as I said, see, when you're doing it here, not in the exam, then also you notice that you are getting few of the answers incorrect. Although this is just addition subtraction because the decimals are involved. So be very careful while you solve these things. And this last one is giving me 0.6825. So now we will write the cofactor matrix and then we will apply the adjoint because we have to transpose it and then multiply it with 1 or by determinant. So हमारा जो cofactor matrix आ रहा है उसका directly अगर हम adjoint निकालना चाहें, it would actually mean that ये जो row का आ रहा है, it will become the first column. So 0.7625, 0.1325 and 0.0975 will be my first column, row की जगह, because I'm applying the transpose. So cofactor matrix का transpose into 1 by determinant is the adjoint. So I'm trying to find this adjoint matrix कर रहे हैं. Inverse निकालने के लिए adjoint चाहिए होगा ना. So cofactor का transpose करो, call that as the adjoint matrix. So adjoint of I minus A will be nothing but the transpose of the cofactor matrix. So rows will become column. So 0.7625, 0.1325, 0.975. 1325, 0.0975, then 0.2175, 67 and 0.0565. So 0.2175, 0.67, इसको भी 0 करके लिख दो, and 0.065, so 0 लिख लो. Then 0.1025, 0.0055 and 0.6825. So 0.1025, 0.0550 and 0.6825. This is called your adjoint. अब अगर मुझे इसका इनवर्स निकालना है, I minus A का इनवर्स, so it will be this adjoint into 1 by determinant, right? So determinant we had found out. So determinant was 1 by 567125. 567125 into this matrix, जो भी हमने यहाँ लिखा है. One decimal here and there and you are going to lose everything. Be very sure when you take from one point to another, one row to another, that you are doing it absolutely correctly and in a writing that you also understand and the examiner also understands. So this becomes your inverse. अच्छा, अब what you can go ahead and do ना, कि you can take this in. ये जो हमने यहाँ पे determinant लिखा है, this is a decimal, हाँ. ये जो determinant लिखा है, I can take this in and divide each of the element with this. And then just approximate to 4 decimal places, क्योंकि हर चीज 4 decimal places नहीं हो रही है. So you can go ahead and you can just do that. So if I will be doing that, I will get a new matrix. Just do it. Okay. In the meanwhile, let's move on to the next part of the question. So the next part of the question actually goes ahead and says, this is again for 5 marks. What should be the required output of each industry if external demand is given by the following matrix. If external demand is given by following matrix, D dash is equal to 140, 40, 50 and 60. So this is simple. अब उन्होंने हमें एक एक्सटर्नल डिमांड का मैट्रिक्स दे दिया. सो वी नो द आउटपुट वेक्टर. कैसे निकालते हैं हम आउटपुट वेक्टर? सो द आउटपुट वेक्टर x is given by I minus A inverse into D. I minus A inverse into D. So I need this I minus A inverse now. So just keep dividing this. So you will get here 1.339. I am telling you from my working. 0.385, 0.180, 0.237, 1.164, 0.096, 0.171, 0.114 and 1.210. This is what you will get your matrix as. ये आपको मिलेगा. ठीक है. When you will divide this, ये वाला जो decimal है, you take it in and divide each element by this. अब जब ये हो जाएगा, when you would have done this, तो उसके बाद now you can go ahead and multiply it with that demand vector. So when you will multiply it with 40, 50 and 60, you will get the value of x. ठीक है? So 1.3445, 0.3835, 0.1807, 0.2336, 1.1814, 0.0970, 0.1719, 0.1146, 1.2034 multiplied with 40, 50 and 60. Okay, so then I leave it to you. Please understand कि हर एक का, my answer may be a bit different from your answer depending on till what decimal we have approximated. Have we approximated in 3 decimal, 4 decimal? On that basis, थोड़ा सा answer इधर इधर हो सकता है. But you will always notice that the first two will match. So supposedly मेरा यहाँ पे 1.3 आ रहा है. Maybe if you would have, suppose आप you use your method, ये 1.3 के बाद 4 की जगह पे probably you can get 3. Right? It depends कि आपने किस point पे approximation किया है, right? So suppose 1.20 will be common, but maybe you can get 1.21. I can get 1.20. ठीक है? So that उतना approximation is fine. उतना answer can differ, but not a lot of difference will be there. So even when I can tell you, even when you will be, suppose you want to recheck your answer and maybe you use AI, तो I am pretty sure कि आपका और मेरा और वो answer match नहीं करेगा. There will be some changes because of the amount of approximation that we are doing versus they are doing. Okay? So, but we have to go ahead and we have to just do mota ki it should match a particular range. So suppose if I get 83.80, you get 83.20, it's fine. It's close to 83, it's fine. Okay? So this is the final answer that I got. If you multiply this with this plus this with this plus this with this, जो आपका first element निकल के आएगा, that will come out as 83.80 according to my approximation, 74.23 according to my approximation, and 84.81. ठीक है? So as I said, this may be a little different for each of us. ठीक है? किसी का 83.5 आ सकता है, किसी का 74.4 आ सकता है. It can be a bit different based on what approximation we do. But because these are in units, you can also go ahead and say 83.8 means approximately 84 units. 74.2 means approximately 74 units, and 84.81 means approximately 85 units if we have to give in whole numbers, right? This will match for each of us. ये match करेगा हम सबके लिए, right? This approximation should match. Okay, so these are the required outputs that we have. So this will be my output. As long as all your steps are correct and you are very close to the range, वो 83 और 84 में इतना distinguish नहीं करेंगे. They will not go ahead and distinguish. So this was a full-fledged 15 marks question, and you can see why it is important to sit and practice. You may know Leontief method very well, but when you start practicing it, are you able to get the correct answer in first go when you sit with a calculator within the time bound limit that you have? वो important है समझना. Okay. Any doubt in this?